when I don't believe my thoughts, and I don't try to fill that wide open gap. Would I have a clue what I'm supposed to do? Being vulnerable and unprotected, being open for the unsuspected, it's not what we would choose. We're so afraid to lose. Courage comes from that not knowing, the courage to acknowledge what is really here. Not knowing has been believed to be a weakness, but it's a well of strength and power beyond all fear. No, you don't know how to live. Is there a willingness to feel and sense what is here? Even when there is fear, no one else can tell you how it is for you. Yes, you are alone in this great unknown. But courage comes from that not knowing, the courage to acknowledge what is really here. Not knowing has been believed to be a weakness, but it's a well of strength and power beyond all fear. Instead of trying to fit in, you can live, express and feel whatever's true for you, even if you don't know what to do. Life will always challenge how you think that it should be, until it's clear to us, until the moment we can see that courage comes from that not knowing, the courage to acknowledge what is really here. Not knowing has been believed to be a weakness, but it's a well of strength and power beyond all fear.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another open meeting on different themes each time. And today's theme is the paradox of personal evolution and presence. So I'd like to welcome everyone who's here on Zoom. You'll be able to participate and ask questions and have a dialogue. And welcome to those watching the live stream or the recording of the live stream. Unfortunately, you won't be able to participate this time, and I don't respond to questions on the live stream itself. So if you'd like to participate, then join the Zoom next time. But welcome anyway. Okay, it's lovely to see you all. So before we get started on our theme, we'll just take a few moments to tune in to how we're feeling in this moment. So if you get comfortable and close your eyes, you can take some deeper breaths into the belly. And with each breath, bringing more and more attention to whatever is here now in this direct experience, just the way it is for you. Letting go of whatever else was happening in your experience, in your life before the start of this meeting, so that you can be fully present with what is here now, giving yourself the gift of full attention right now. Just noticing whatever is here in your experience, physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically. We simply acknowledge it. This is what's here. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to become. Just noticing, feeling, sensing whatever is here. Nothing needs to be fixed or changed. In this moment, nothing is wrong, nothing is missing. And as we are bringing all of our attention to what is here now, this is also acknowledging the presence that we really are, that our true nature is only ever present. Timeless, limitless. And from there, from here, I am aware of whatever is felt or experienced in this human experience. And this is the paradox of timelessness, which is your true nature, playing in the game of time as this human. And this is for you to directly recognize in your own experience. The knowing of both parts of this paradox, both sides. This experience, whatever it is, this sensation happening in time, known in timelessness. Then we can bring our attention again back to the breath. Breathing into the belly. Noticing the sensation of the feet on the ground or the bum on the seat. And then when you're ready, we can open our eyes. So our theme today is the paradox of personal evolution and presence. And really, this is the message in a nutshell, this paradox. And, no matter what we say about this, it's never going to fully make sense for the mind. So you may well experience some frustration or confusion if you are trying to understand it, because it seems to be the nature of the thinking, the mind, that it wants to come to a conclusion. It wants to understand how it is. It's either like this or it's like that. And actually, what we're saying is that it is both simultaneously. And so, on one hand, we have personal evolution. It seems as if there is this human that is born and lives her life in time, and then one day in the future will die. And over that process in time, there seems to be a growing and evolving, learning, changing, seeing through more and more old patterns or beliefs, letting go of more and more. And then the other side of the paradox is that who I really am is life itself, presence, awareness, timelessness. That doesn't fit into any of these words. That is known in not knowing, in not understanding or not grasping. And yet it is known in a mysterious way that we can't really talk about, although we try. And this that we are is beyond time. It is always present. It doesn't evolve. It doesn't change. It doesn't need to evolve or grow or learn anything. It is absolutely perfect already, just the way it is. It is simply life happening. So there's no need for any change. Nothing needs to be fixed, even if it's uncomfortable or messy in some way, even if it seems to be totally unspiritual or very contracted and unaware, unclear, even if it's very painful and destructive. It is still happening presently. It is life itself being itself just the way it is. Right? So nothing needs to change as that. And then again, back to the other side of the paradox. In the human experience, we have a sense of our true nature. Maybe we recognize our true nature as that wholeness and absolute perfection right now. And yet we also sense where the human experience is living in believing old patterns or in a contracted state, living in suffering. And we can sense that there's something out of alignment, that we are somehow living as if we are limited beings, as if we are disconnected from our true nature as life itself. And recognizing our true nature as presence, wholeness already, there can be a sense of, well, why would I live like that? Why would I live as if I'm contracted when my true nature is absolute expansion? So it can even become more painful to feel the contrast of our true nature as unlimited expansion and the human experience of a sense of limitation. Now, usually then the thinking comes in, trying to help. It does try to help, right? It has a good intention. It's not coming in to just cause trouble for no reason. It senses, it sees, it feels, it knows that there is suffering, and it wants to help to alleviate the suffering in order to survive in a better way in the world, right? Because the thinking is a tool of this human in the world. It is a tool in time. So the thinking can never know what is timeless, and yet it keeps trying, right? It keeps trying to become that we are already, in fact. And it tries by all kinds of practices or all kinds of doing, all kinds of effort, trying to become that. And all it's trying to do is alleviate suffering. So again, it has a good intention. It's just that it will always be limited. So it will always fail at trying to become that you truly are. So then how do we live as that? How do we continually evolve in the human experience without this trying to become and doing and efforting from the thinking? Well, the way I see it in my own personal experience, but also in more than 20 years of working with people, I see that actually when we hold this paradox, this creates so much healing and natural evolution and integration of our true nature into the lived experience in the human experience. And this happens by recognizing who we are beyond the human. Yeah, we acknowledge that I'm not limited to just this body looking out of these eyes or these thought stories that I've been telling myself. I am unlimited. I am unlocated. I'm not in here. I'm boundless. I'm free. I'm whole. I'm uncontained. Recognizing that, knowing that to be my true nature, not just intellectually, but in truly recognizing that, there seems to then be a natural love of truth that seems to integrate itself into the human experience more and more. It happens by itself, and so there's no need for effort. And this is something that the thinking can struggle to try to comprehend, because we're used to just doing and trying to become. So it's more about a letting go, a leaning back into that we really are. And looking at our human experience with curiosity. And this curiosity comes from our true nature. It comes from noticing whatever is here. And from that curiosity, we fall in love with this human more and more as we discover how she or he works in a way, like the old patterns that are playing out, all the different identities that come in to have their say or tell their stories, all the sensations and the emotions that are felt, all the different waves of energy that come and go. We get to know this human. We take care of this human. We embrace this human just the way he or she is. Because this human is an expression of life itself that we really are. So although I'm not located and limited to this one inside this body, I am life itself, I am awareness itself, aware of the human, and yet simultaneously, I am experiencing the human experience fully. I am also located and limited to the human experience. And within the human experience, there seems to be an evolution, a growing and a learning and a letting go and a losing whatever I thought I had, or the landing places or the ground that I thought I was standing on, losing more and more in my lived experience. And this seems to create more of a living in alignment with that I really am, with the presence that is always present no matter what. So then every experience that arises in my human life is an opportunity to meet myself as life itself, playing as this human. It's an opportunity to meet myself with curiosity and unconditional love. And this is not an attitude of trying to love myself, but simply meeting what is here is, in fact, that unconditional love. Meeting it, feeling it, without trying to get rid of it or change it or fix it, because it's all an expression of life itself, just the way it is. So nothing ever needs to change, even if it's uncomfortable. And paradoxically, when nothing needs to change, it is also free to change. So that this has been my personal experience, that in not needing to fix this woman, there's a deep relaxation that happens in that. There's no longer a fight, a forcing, a pushing, a trying to fix and scrub her clean, polish every apparent imperfection, so that all the apparent imperfections are welcome to be here forever. And this welcome, this unconditional welcome, allows this human to just go, oh, thank you. And she can deeply relax into that I am. And that deep relaxation starts the unraveling process of all her protection mechanisms and survival mechanisms and all the whole play of separation that she might have believed in starts to loosen, because the play of separation is there because we're trying to survive, trying to be someone in the world. But if we see that who I am is life itself playing as this human, then there's no need to force and try and keep myself separate. I'm simply an expression, as are you, as is this computer, as is everything, right? without exception. It is all an expression of who I am. Time, evolution, growing, learning is an expression of life itself as it meets itself more and more and more in this wondrous play of life. So I'll stop talking there and give you a chance to ask any questions or have a dialogue. If you'd like to speak, then you can just raise your hand. You can also type a question in the chat. But yeah, my preference is to have a dialogue so that we, it's a little bit more alive and intimate. Christina.
Yeah, hi, Mani.
Hi.
I'm noticing more and more this that when I'm thinking, and then just thinking relaxes in down, and then it is seen that it's just this bumping or sound, and it's just this.
Mhm.
Yeah. When the story is, yeah, is not here, it's just what is happening.
Yeah. And even when the story is here, it's just a
Yeah,
story, right?
yeah,
And the story is also included. It's a thought just happening.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Tino.
Good evening. Hello, Unmani.
Jane. Hi.
In the last time, I made the experience in the meditation that I can feel that's there a direct way to silence. But then I recognize, okay, I see this exit or entrance, but then I have this feeling that my thoughts are so attractive that I go around the corner, and it's somehow that I say, yeah, this direct way can waiting or can wait. Let's go around the corner. Let's fix something. Let's look around. Yes, and it's somehow that I prolong this or say, yeah, this can wait. The next time I go the direct way, but this time I try this one more time.
Yeah, it's very seductive.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, it's a habit, right? Also, I mean, you know, if that's the way you have been thinking or doing, you know, for a long time, it's kind of an ingrained pathway. But also, yes, it's very seductive because it feeds an identity.
Mm.
It feeds what identity would you say it feeds in you?
I didn't understand.
Well, you know, we have these many different identities that come in, right? So this trying to fix and trying to improve and yeah, find the problem and try to, you know, fix it. It can feed an identity of maybe the spiritual one or the seeker. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you have
And
an
then comes the sentence or that I say, how childish are you actually? Why are you playing with these thoughts? So I can see that's somehow like a play to, yes, to have fun with all these thoughts. And then comes another voice and says, yes, it's a little bit childish. If you would be more mature, then actually you would go this way, direct to the silence. So,
Yeah. You know, first of all, about this evolution, the personal evolution, it happens in its own time, you know. So you may have a thought that says, you know, I should be more mature, but you can only be as mature as you are, right? So, you know, I'm saying that also just because that one that says I should be more mature or I should be anything is another identity, right? That has this idea of how you should be or who you should be, maybe some kind of perfectionist identity. Yeah, and you know, your experience doesn't fit that idea. And then, you know, now to just say the absolute opposite of what I've just said, because both are true. Sometimes it does require a leap, a courageous leap out of these comfortable old patterns. You know, enough is enough, right? Or just simply stop and see, you know. It is always as simple as that. You know, the thinking says, well, you know, tomorrow, just right now, I need to have a look a little bit further. It's, you know, I can't go directly because I have to look at this first and this first. It complicates, right? But the truth is always simple, right? It's just what is right now. Stop. And here it is.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Paolo. I can't see you, Paolo, but you've got your hand up. Ah, there
Hello.
you are. Hey.
Hi. Yeah, so thank you for sharing about this topic. In my life, I'm experiencing real moment of deep and beautiful connection where I basically dissolve into nothingness. And as a paradox, then, because I'm also a meditation teacher, so then I facilitate from the space, I get great feedbacks, and then I come back home and I'm a single father. And it's a real challenge somehow to remain as awareness, which is simply curious and loving of this person having this very eventful experience where I'm taking care of my son and taking care of finances and taking care of work and doing it all on my own, and which on top of that brings other challenges, and one feels lonely. And so I keep oscillating in this incredible place of nothingness where I want to stay forever, and then this place where I risk to lose myself into identifying with this person which is struggling.
Yeah.
And this keeps happening,
Yeah. Yeah.
every other day. And
Yeah, I hear you, and it's really a beautiful question. And I think, although different people have different circumstances, of course, I think that this is a question that can be, relating to many people. So thank you. Yes. First of all, I absolutely relate to your situation. I'm a single mom as well. So
okay,
yeah.
no.
But yes, so when you experience these beautiful states where you just want to stay there forever, it is very tempting to kind of escape into that, especially if the other side of, in your human experience, it is challenging.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so the mind creates these two opposite extremes. And this is the play of separation still, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong. It's just that to become aware of this, that, you're describing two extreme opposites. And so there's something there to look at, because actually the reality is that this is a paradox. It's not two extreme opposites. I mean, the two sides of the paradox that I'm speaking about, they exist simultaneously, and they don't contrast or contradict each other at all. Whereas what you're describing, it seems like it's a contrast and contradiction.
Yeah,
right?
very much so.
Yeah, and so this is why I would question the state that you experience, the beautiful state.
Mm.
Because you're having an experience in meditation where I would say where you kind of remove yourself from the human experience, and you experience a kind of distance and an awareness, a watching. And this can be beautiful and blissful. And it's a way where you don't have to feel all the messy stuff of being human. But this is a temporary experience, as you know, it passes. And so if it's a temporary experience, it's not the awareness that you are. It's an experience happening in the awareness that you are. Yeah, because the awareness that you are, first of all, it's not any kind of experience. And second of all, it is aware of all experience without exception. It doesn't have a preference for blissful, beautiful, expansive experiences.
Mm.
It is aware in the midst of the messiness of parenting, or feeling lonely, or, just all the mess, right? Or completely being human. Still, you are aware. Now, that is your true nature still. The experience has changed, right? So your experience is now of pain, or trying to juggle all these different things. But still, you are aware of that. The awareness hasn't changed. The awareness is aware of a blissful state, and the awareness is aware of a juggling, thinking, painful state. Right?
Mm. Mm. There is a desire in that awareness for me, for this person to have the experience of the juggling while in peace, while calm, while untriggered, and that, I guess, may even create suffering because of the contrast. So
Yes, exactly, exactly. It's actually creates more
Sorry.
so when you're trying to change your experience to become something that is so blissful, you know, to
Mhm.
expect the human experience to be anything other than what it is in this moment. You know, it's like expecting water to not be wet. You know, the human experience is messy. Now, I understand that you can feel how being triggered or stressed out or, you know, feeling a sense of contraction, you can feel, you can sense that there's something out of alignment, like you're living in this contracted state where you recognize your true nature is unlimited. So it kind of feels wrong, and your thinking is trying to fix that. But the way that the thinking is trying to do that, it can't be done that way. You know, you can't make yourself have this kind of calm, or you know, experience when you're juggling all these things, or you're feeling all these emotions. You know, that sense of calm, if it happens at any point, it happens by itself. You know, you can't force that, and there's no need to. You know, there's no need to fix your experience, because when you're trying to fix it or saying it's not good enough, you are actually not welcoming it. You know, you're saying, well, this is not okay to be here. I only want the blissful experience, or I want this calm, and I don't want this other part that is messy. But it's not up to you as the thinking to decide what should or shouldn't be here. You know, it's about meeting what is here, whatever is here, without exception.
It's very uncomfortable at times, and I guess because it's a repeated uncomfortable experience, then there is a sort of, I don't know how to explain, but sort of alarm inside me. There's something here. How can it be? How can this be so unbearable and uncomfortable while what I am is so detached and peaceful?
Yeah.
So I've been looking a lot into integrating that into daily life, but I also see that this ends up being a desire, and so the desire creates suffering because I desire to be in that state while I want to be very present with my son after a long day of being present and working while he's on the computer and I work online, and then he doesn't want to go to bed and I don't have any patience anymore. And because how can this be so incredibly uncomfortable? I feel like I can't do it anymore. And yet yesterday I was in an absolutely insightful and peaceful place. So I think that makes it particularly uncomfortable somehow.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, maybe I can also share just from being a single parent. You know, I've realized that actually my son is also my teacher. You know, I know, you know, we've heard that before perhaps, but it's really like that, that it's in the midst of, you know, him not wanting to go to bed, or you know, wanting my attention when I'm tired, or, you know, these kind of messy moments, you know, or, you know, not getting ready for school on time and being late, and
You're not sleeping.
not sleeping, waking up in the middle of the night, wetting the bed, or, you know, all the having to get up in the middle of the night, changing sheets when you're,
Exactly. You got it, yeah.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be a single parent, for sure. Yeah. Um, and you know, to expect it to be, you know, always calm, you know, it's not going to be like that.
Yeah, no, perhaps there is not an expectation of it being calm, but something tells me I could do much better than this, or I experience this almost this judgment because of the paradox. How can I lose the patience after a day? You know, I know that I can stay as awareness in this, and then something else they will do because I'm tired will trigger me, so I have to use my
Yeah.
energy just to don't scream.
No, you know, if you are trying to stay as awareness, this is a mental game. You know, you can't stay as awareness because you are that awareness all the time. You're never not that awareness. It's just that the experience changes. And so what you said you feel like you could do more. Well, the only thing you can do is to meet this human just the way he is in whatever is there. You know, if it's uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's stressful. Yes, you're not the ideal perfect parent. You'll never fit into some kind of idea of some beautifully spiritual parent. No, you're a
I'm
mess.
not trying that. Yes, no, I understand.
But meeting this human just the way he is,
Mm.
you also model that for your son, you know, because he then learns that he doesn't always need to be perfect, that being human is absolutely okay. You know, being a mess is okay. It's about welcoming and meeting this human. And it's, you know, we have this idea that we need to be this awareness, but actually the jewels or the pearls of wisdom or the gifts are in the human experience. It's not
Yeah.
about escaping it.
No, definitely. I did experience that
In it.
several times. And it's again, I guess, as you're talking, as I'm listening, perhaps also there is an expectation on this person to be better. And again, it's connected with a paradox, because if I'm on my own, I can easily go very deep and dissolve. And it's very easy, and it's just there. Whether after a week of half term with no school, I know I'm barely being able to be kind. So it
So
is.
you can fight it or you can surrender to it. And, if you're trying to maintain that state, it's going to be exhausting.
Mhm.
And, you know,
The acceptance is big. The acceptance of how messy it is something. Yeah, that's what is uncomfortable.
yeah, and even the judgment, you know, this judgment of how it is, it's quite harsh, right?
Mm.
You can feel the pain of that judgment,
Mm.
right? It's basically saying you're not good enough the way you are. You're
Mhm.
not enough. You're not okay. You know. And what I'm saying is that from that awareness of who you are, that you are, is always seeing you as absolutely okay, just the way you are.
Mm.
You know.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you're free to be a mess. You know? And it's not that that you lose this state if you let go into that mess, because that state is never it. It's a state. It's a passing state. It's not your true nature. It's a beautiful state, but if it comes and then it goes, it's not it.
And that's what you were saying before about, as you let go of fixing the person that you are, then paradoxically, because there was a relaxation,
Yeah.
actually some change took place from there, from actually letting go, basically.
Yes, but you can't manipulate that.
It's something that resonates.
I mention it, you know, just kind of like a side thing, because
Mhm.
I'm aware that if I talk about change, the mind just wants to grasp hold
Yeah,
of that.
you can't
I
do
want
it.
to,
Mhm. Yeah,
but
what is implied, I feel, is a very deep or radical level of surrender, basically.
yeah, meeting what is here. Yeah, this is surrender to what is.
Oof. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm taking a lot of your time, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Nicole.
Hi, I just want to say thank you for that last dialogue with Paolo. It really hit me in that when you were sharing that deep compassion we have for these humans and their what appear to be problems. That really hit me. The compassion there, I could feel it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank
you. Yeah. I mean, these humans, they go through a lot, right? I mean, and the thinking has all kinds of ideas about how it should be, but these humans are trying their best, right?
Yeah, that distinction, the thinking and that feeling and compassion, it's just like there's a surrender then to that, and it's like, oh, I haven't got to try so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it comes along again.
It's much easier just to be a mess.
It is, and then that's when I can really feel that compassion for this, and there's an ease. Then there's a sort of dropping.
Yeah,
and like you say, it's not trying to be in that one state, which I might get to, I might not get.
yeah. I mean, states come and go. They're beautiful when they're here, but then when they go, okay, next thing. Trying to hold on to any state is doomed to fail, right?
Yeah.
Because every experience by its nature comes and then goes.
I might need to be reminded of that constantly.
You're welcome. I'll be happy to remind you anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Also, if there's anything that you would like me to speak more about, we have a few more minutes. Dennis.
Hi. I'm at a place in my evolution where I continue to have insights, and I've had them all along. But now I'm finding that my practice is really just paying attention to everything, and that I look at things and I can't find me in there. And there are moments when that becomes really an amazing experience of freedom. But what's happening in my mind and what the thinking is, and it's more of a feeling, is that I'm abandoning this character. And it really feels like I'm abandoning the world and life. When I'm having the insight, that goes away. But then I can't really remember that because it's not a memory, it's a state of being at the time. I remember that I had that experience. So that's just what I'm dealing with right now, is this sense of, it's like death. It's like I'm really just leaving this character, and then the character looks like a little abandoned character, like I've abandoned a child. And
yeah, it is a bit like that, I mean, some people describe going through a kind of mourning period, grieving the loss of believing that I am me located in here, living a life in time. Not that, that one goes away, but it's just that it seemed to never have been a separate person living its own life. It's just an expression of life itself. So yeah, it can be this process of letting go or cutting the tie, because there can be for so long a belief that I'm living my life, and I'm in control. I'm doing it, and this belief that I'm living my life is like this energetic tie, and seeing who you are, waking up to who you are, and seeing that you are not limited and located to this person. It's like cutting that tie, and the person goes on living his life, and doing whatever he does, but you're not the one living, that me living, that tie is cut, and there's a death in that. So then you're just aware of this human.
yeah, I realize it's all a story. I remember Adyashanti saying when he awakened, and then this Adyashanti character gets to keep running around. And I know this goes on. It's just the identification when I start to abandon that, it feels like something's happening there. I know it's a story in my head, but that's the feeling. So I'm just allowing that to be there. And I know that that's the evolution paradoxically, and it's gonna do whatever it does. So it's like I'm on that path and I see myself leaving behind something, but I know that's an illusion intellectually. So, and that's the way to go. I mean, I'm just following my intuition.
Yeah. And as you said, it will do whatever it does or not. It's not even a path, really, because it's not going anywhere. And there's no one walking on this path. Especially as you see that I'm not living my life and that energetic tie is cut, then you're just experiencing what you experience. And it might be a feeling of abandoning this human, which, it's understandable that you feel that.
Well, there's also the feeling of I can't wait to get away from this, and the suffering and the things that are going on in the mess. But there are other times when I just feel I'm in love with the mess. It's just because when I'm really more in tune, everything's beautiful, everything's perfect. But then that's a fleeting thing, but it happens over and over. So I'm just riding that wave, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay. Any last questions or comments? Tino?
Yeah, it's Astrid. Hello, Unmani.
Hi, Astrid.
Thank you so much for, yes, for these insights. And now after listening you and going through different states, I noticed that I'm like, really, it's like an inner maybe clinging to or keeping the idea that it's my attention, you know. So I don't know, maybe you could
My
tell.
what does that mean for you? Maybe you can say a little more.
I'm noticing it, and it's me noticing, and it's my attention. I can, what's the word in English? Direct and, you know,
Mm.
control. Yeah, basically control, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is the play as if you can control things in life, you know, whether you can choose where to put your attention. It does play out like that.
But is that an illusion?
It's not that it's an illusion. I mean, I find that word illusion kind of doesn't quite say it right for me. That's why I like to say it's a play as if. And it's slightly different to an illusion, because an illusion is kind of negative. It's like, oh yeah, you shouldn't play that game. You shouldn't believe in that. But when you know that it's a play as if, then you can fully play it, but you get the joke of it. Yeah. You know that it's a game, like we're just playing. So you can play as if you can shift your attention here and there and everywhere. But when you know that there is no one owning or doing or living, then you can see that it's just a shifting of attention. And then the thinking says, I'm doing it.
Mm.
Yeah. This is my attention, but it's just a thought. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with the thought saying that. But when you get the joke of it, you see, well, you know, it's just a thought. So we don't need to clean up that thought and get rid of it, because it's just a thought and it doesn't mean anything. There's never anyone doing the attention or owning the attention, even if thought says there is.
Mm. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Okay. I think we've come to the end of our time for today, and I need to take the hat of spiritual teacher off and put on the hat of single mum and go make dinner soon. So the next open meeting will be on the 4th of December on the theme, what about the suffering in the world? Yeah, which is, of course, an interesting theme. And also to let you know that I now have confirmed the dates of my summer retreat in the Netherlands. It'll be the 28th of July until the 1st of August. 28th of July till the 1st of August. So go on the website and have a look. And there's another couple of retreats also that we're still trying to confirm, but that will be all on there soon. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure. See you next time. Lots of love to everyone. Okay. Bye.